Hello everyone, back to today's first video doing the EC 30-day look at for today's video. So we're going to look at temperature, precipitation and mean sea level pressure anomalies for the next 4 weeks for the UK and the rest of Europe as well. We're at the ECWF.INT website, and they released a treasure trove of information, of course, of data last week. So yeah, we're going to have a look at the weather next 4 weeks across the UK and the rest of Europe. We can extend to 6 weeks out with this, and so tomorrow in the live stream we will look at weeks 5 and 6, mean sea level pressure, temperature and rainfall anomalies. That will be in our live stream from 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. The ECWF 42-day model is updated twice a week on a Tuesday and also on a Friday as well. So we're going to do like a 4-week look ahead, a 30-day look ahead on a Tuesday, extend out to weeks 5 and 6 with Tuesday's update in a live stream. And then on Friday, every Friday, we will look at the full 6 weeks altogether. That will be sort of UK focus. So it's going to be absolutely great. So treasure trove of data that they have released at the ECWF. We're just going to try and work out the best way of presenting this data to you. So there may be tweaks and changes as we go along, but at the moment, this is what we're going to try out. So still with our 30-day look ahead every Tuesday, and a 6-week look ahead on a Friday, and then weeks 5 and 6 from Tuesday's update included in live stream. We'll see how it works out. Right, big thank you to the ECWF.INT group for providing this data to us. Let's get on with it then. I'm going to start off with mean. I'll just say that coming up later on, Dave, got 10 to 14 day video update as always. You know, a 10 to 14 day with all regular features that will be coming up for you this afternoon. Right, so let's get on with it then. This is the week 1 mean sea level pressure anomaly. Excuse me. For Northern Europe. And so with these charts, blue is extrapolating to low pressure, and sort of pink, the brighter the colour, the stronger the pressure is. So pink's extrapolating to high pressure, blue is extrapolating to low pressure. It's going to be the week ending the 19th of October. So this is this week, if you like, the 13th to the 19th of October. So still broadly the pattern that we've had through October so far in the week ahead, with higher pressure out to the north and the northwest of the British Isles in the Northern Atlantic, lower pressure through much of northern and central back to Western Europe as well. There's a ridge down here across the southeastern part of Europe, and a ridge over towards the western part of Russia as well. So for the flow and for the jet stream, it means that we're going to be doing something like that with the flow and with the jet stream. So it means that much of northern and western Europe is going to be seeing northerly winds, so northerly influences with wind direction in the week ahead. Conversely, though, on the east side of Europe, drawing up southerly winds in the week ahead from the 12th to the 19th of October. So week 1 temperature anomalies for Europe are looking like this. Still evidence of the east-west split, but everything is shifted eastwards, if you like. So we do still have warmer than average temperature anomalies over here across west of Russia into the far eastern side of Europe. But we've also got these cooler than average anomalies through central west parts of Europe. Now, these cooler than average anomalies have progressed eastwards compared to last week. So the warmth really is now restricted to the very far eastern side of Europe, and basically anywhere from like Poland and Ukraine westwards going to be cooler than average. Significantly cooler than average anomalies through France into Germany and also into southern parts of Poland as well, down into Italy, central bowl of Mediterranean, and into northern parts of Spain. We're talking about temperatures around 2 to 3 degrees below average through these areas. So yeah, significantly cooler than average week is coming up and on the way for many west parts of Europe. Scandinavia has close to average temperature anomalies up there, so not as cool across Scandinavia. Through the Mediterranean, proper east-west split goes on, so around Greece and Turkey, it's going to be a warmer than average week coming up. Out to the west, though, is going to be cooler than average. Anywhere from like Italy and the Adriatic westwards back through the central part of Bed into Spain and Portugal, coming out cooler than average through there. Week 1 rainfall anomaly taking us again from the 12th to the 19th of October. Looks like that. So actually drier than average in the north and in the west of Europe. So yes, a drier than average week coming up for the UK, for Ireland, the southern parts, Scandinavia, particularly Denmark, southern Sweden and Norway, down into the Low Countries, Belgium, Holland, Netherlands, through France, down Spain, Portugal. All of those areas looking drier than average. Conversely, though, these central and eastern parts of Europe do look wetter than average. So anywhere from like the east of Germany over towards the Black Sea, we're coming out wetter than average through there. Particularly wet through like Italy, the Adriatic, and down over into the Balkans. So very wet through those areas. As far as Mediterranean is concerned, a bit of a three-way split really. So looking relatively dry, very showery conditions, but relatively dry over on the far eastern side of Med. Dry also for Spain and for Portugal. But for the central bowl of Med, it does actually look quite wet through there, with above average precipitation being expected. Right, let's move on to week 2 then. So it's going to take us through to the 26th of October. The week ending the 26th of October. And a bit of a change here. So we still have northern blocking in evidence. This is the pressure anomaly for week 2. We still have above average pressure, high pressure blocking to the northwest. So the pinks don't completely go away. They do recede northwards. That allows this area of low pressure to start to develop down to the south and the west of the bridge. At the same time, a ridge is developing through the eastern, southeastern part of Europe. And that means we'll start to pull up milder winds from the southwest, I would have thought, into western and southwestern parts of Europe, but also turn things wetter as well. So with this trough of low pressure, we start to move rain bands into Ireland, the UK, into France, into northern parts of Spain as well, and probably progressing in towards the Low Countries and into Germany as well with time. At the same time, though, these eastern parts of Europe should be turning drier under the ridge of high pressure, but also pretty mild. Winds should be pushing up from the south. So it looks like this should be a milder week across many parts of Europe. Let's confirm this with the temperature anomaly. So this is the temperature anomaly for week 2, taking us from the 19th to the 26th of October. And yeah, we see this quite clearly. It's going milder than average across many western parts of Europe. Temperatures are lifting up across the west of Europe. Cooler than average temperature anomalies are being forced back northwards into northern parts of Scandinavia and over towards Iceland as well, and out into the Atlantic. It's cooler than average through there. But for Ireland, for the UK, through Denmark, much of Germany, the Low Countries, down into France, and through much of Spain, in particularly eastern Spain, we're looking at a milder than average week through here, with temperatures going above average from the 19th to 26th of October. Not as mild across the eastern parts of Europe, but not particularly cold either. So I think generally we say that this week is seeing temperatures lifting up across most parts of Europe. It is a milder week, I think, for many parts of Europe. Into Mediterranean, so western parts of Med, from like Corsica, Sardinia, back to Spain and Portugal, are slightly above average with the temperature. Eastern parts of Europe are coming out, perhaps a little bit, Mediterranean I should say, perhaps coming out a little bit cooler than average. I think overall that looks like a milder week there for many parts of Europe. Week 2, precipitation anomaly, again taking us from the 19th to 26th of October. Looks like that. So it confirms the idea that the north and the west of Europe is turning wetter. Look how wet it is across Spain and Portugal, for example. Very wet week coming up there with copious amounts of rain. Also a little bit on wet average side for much of France, much of the UK and Ireland. Also looking wetter than average in this week, and going a little bit wetter than average up towards southern parts of Scandinavia as well, although Norway is largely drier than average. Over onto the eastern side of Europe, it's drier than average really from eastern Germany over to the Black Sea. The northeast of Europe, we haven't spoken about those areas very much in this update yet, but like northeast Europe, Latvia, Estonia, close to average with precipitation, and then down into the Mediterranean. So very wet for Spain and Portugal, but anywhere sort of east of that, actually looking pretty dry. It's a drier week through the Balkans, through Italy, for example, and then down into Greece and Turkey, generally on the drier than average side. So you can see where the high pressure is in this week. We've got plenty of ridging through here. We can see where the low pressure is as well, of course. Got lots of low pressure through here. You can see why it's turning milder with winds coming in from the southwest. Notice drive and average though from Norway over to Iceland, so the blocking never goes away. It's still there, just recedes back a little bit further northwards, and it's still there in the Atlantic as well. So this is still broadly a blocked theme with northern blocking. But we just go onto the mild side of the trough and the ridge, or the trough and the block, if you like, and turn things milder and wetter. Right, let's come back to mean sea level pressure. Let's have a look at week 3. So this is a week from the 22nd of October to the 2nd of November. Rather strange looking mean sea level pressure anomaly for week 3. So it looks like there's just a lot of sort of slack pressure, really high pressure, across many northern, central, and some southern and western parts of Europe as well. This area is interesting. It's sort of average pressure, but you'll probably think there's still some lower pressure through here, really. There has to be low pressure somewhere, doesn't there? You can't have like high pressure all the way from Greenland over to Russia. So I would have thought through here we've probably got lower pressure, although it doesn't show it that well. And then we've got this ridge through here. Notice the blocking is breaking down in this week and disappearing, really. So a lot of that northern blocking is going away. Much of Europe is under high pressure, but out in the far north and northwest, it looks like we're probably still influenced by lower pressure from off the Atlantic. Remember, the further out we go, the weaker the signals are going to get. Week 3 temperature anomaly from the 26th of October to the 2nd of November looks like that. So many parts of Europe are still forecast to be rather milder than average through this week. Much of northern, central, eastern Europe coming out milder than average. Anywhere from like Germany and the Low Countries and eastern France right way over to the Black Sea and the west and southwest of Russia coming out warmer than average through there. So quite a mild scene for many parts of Europe. The far west is a little bit cooler. Far western parts of Europe looking a little bit cooler, particularly Portugal, northern parts of Spain, into Bay of Biscay, and just about into Ireland, southwestern parts of England. Cooler through there, or near average, I suppose, on the far western side of Europe. Otherwise, a mild average sea. Most parts of the Mediterranean having average temperatures cooler out to the west. Eastern parts of the Med are slightly above average with their temperature only. And then week 3 rainfall anomaly from the 26th of October to the 2nd of November looks like that. The signal is weakening here. So the far east of Europe looks a little bit drier than average. Much of the Med, interestingly, whoops, that's gone wrong. Much of the Med also looking rather drier than average. Out in the northwest, average precipitation. Again, it's a very weak signal here. So the very end of October into the start of November, we have got really weak signals. And then finally, for this video, we're going to finish at week 4, which is going to take us from the 2nd to the 9th of November. That's how we look with the mean sea level pressure anomaly in this week. So it looks like we're building up some higher pressure, taking higher pressure up towards Scandinavia. Slack pressure elsewhere, so quite a lot of ridging across many parts of Europe, but I think the main focus is probably on this ridge building over Scandinavia back into western Russia, which will probably try to turn the wind into the east across northern parts of Europe as well. Still think there's likely to be some lower pressure through here, and then there's some lower pressure over towards the Black Sea as well in week 4. Week 4 temperature anomaly taking us from the 9th to the from the 2nd to the 9th of November, so through the first week of November, essentially looks like that. Mild average over Scandinavia, to above average temperatures for Scandinavia. That's where the ridge is sitting, of course. Otherwise, again, very weak signals. Eastern parts of Europe a little bit warmer than average through there too. Otherwise, there's lots of white going on, lots of no signal. Possibly a bit cooler than average right across southern and western parts of Europe. Temperature anomalies might be going a little bit cooler than average through there. And then the week for precipitation anomaly from the 2nd to the 9th of November is looking like this. Largely a slightly drier than average scene, really, particularly through many northern parts of Europe. So much of northern Europe is going drier than average, just weakly so, but a little bit drier than average through northern Europe. Also, some central parts of the Mediterranean a little bit drier than average as well. Southeast Med, perhaps slightly wetter than average through there. Quite weak signals, really, but I think the overall thing to focus on for the early part of November is probably like quite a large ridge, a slack ridge, but sort of moving towards Scandinavia with time. So I think this Scandinavian high is probably going to try and turn wind into the east through the early part of November, which of course is not going to be particularly, it won't be particularly warm. Right, we end this video there then. Tomorrow in the live stream, you'll be able to see mean sea level pressure, temperature, and rainfall anomalies for weeks 5 and 6, taking us up to the 23rd of November. But I shan't go any further out with this one. So that's it. That's the month-end look at with the ECM WF 30-day model, taking us right way up to the beginning of November. As I say, we extend out into the middle and second half of November in the live stream tomorrow. And then on Friday, when it updates again on Friday, we will do a full 6 weeks look ahead then for primarily focus on the UK and Ireland. Okay, so we'll be back later on with 10 to 14 day video update, so come back for that then. For the ECM WF 30-day look ahead, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.